Okay, so part 2 of the endocrine system. So far we've went over what the endocrine system is and its specific hormones, or its specific glands and the certain hormones it releases for the certain target receptor cells. Sorry, my nephew's right here and he's listening to me. We've gone over insulin, glucagon, and control of blood sugar, or blood glucose, basically sugar. Now we're going to go over the adrenal, the pituitary, the reproductive, and the thyroid hormones. Catecholamines. The two catecholamines, epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, and norepinephrine, are hormones produced by the adrenal glands, which are situated on top of each kidney. These hormones help prepare the body for activity. More specifically, they are part of the stress response known as the fight or flight response. Now remember your kidneys. They do not have the kidneys in here. But the kidneys are... Hold on. Let me look it up really fast. Location of the kidneys. Okay, the kidneys are two. Let me look up the whole. I'll go ahead and let's see. Okay, the kidneys. The kidneys are two bean-shaped organs that extract waste from the blood, balance body fluids from urine, form urine, and aid. Hold on, let me read it. Balance body fluids, form urine, and aid in other important. Aid in other important functions of the body. They reside against the back muscle in the upper abdominal cavity. Against the back muscle in the upper abdominal cavity. They sit opposite each other, side to side of the spine. The right kidney sits a little bit lower than the left to accommodate the liver. Sorry, I do not like reading many things off my phone. I would prefer to have it off of a book because it's much more effective, and being on here all day it's not good for your eyes, it's not good for your mind. So the kidneys, they're located right along the back, outside, how do I explain this? Inside, like underneath your abdominals, and right up against lower back next to the liver. Okay, so, that being said, these hormones, remember we're talking about catecholamines, which are the two catecholamines, which are epinephrine and norepinephrine. And epinephrine is the adrenaline. Okay, and they are responsible for the fight or flight response. In preparation for activity, the hypothalamus, which is part of the brain, triggers the adrenal glands to secrete more epinephrine. This will have a number of specific physiological effects that will help sustain exercise activity. This increases heart rate and stroke volume. I'm sorry, I gotta keep my focus. I have someone listening to me right now, and you know how that could be sometimes. Okay. In preparation for activity, the hypothalamus, which is part of the brain, triggers the adrenal glands to secrete more epinephrine. This will have a number of specific physiological effects that will help sustain exercise activity, such as increases heart rate and stroke volume, elevates blood glucose levels, redistributes blood to working tissues, and opens up the airways. That is why when, let's say, you feel that you are in a survival state, let's say, you have that adrenaline going, you could run quicker, you could run faster. That is because your hypothalamus is triggering the the adrenal glands to secrete more adrenaline. And as that adrenaline is being secreted through the bloodstream, that in turn increases your heart rate and stroke volume. It opens up the airways of your veins, so your blood could be pumped through your body at a quicker rate. It elevates blood glucose levels. Remember, glucose, which is sugar, is the body's main source of energy. It redistributes blood to working tissues. So not only that, but all the tissues in your body are getting more and more of the nutrients and vitamins and minerals and the nutrients it needs, because it is opening up your blood vessels open up, your heart is pumping at a faster pace. And remember, it's through the bloodstream that all the cells in your body get their life. And all this that is being opened up, and also opening up the airways, so your muscles are all the cells in your body are also getting all the necessary oxygen it needs quicker. That is essentially how adrenaline works. Okay, testosterone and estrogen. Sorry, I had seen that, and that's what caused me to... Anyway, testosterone and estrogen. Testosterone is produced in the testes of the male and in small amounts in the ovaries and adrenal glands of the female. Males produce up to 10 times more testosterone than females, and this is primarily responsible for the development of the male secondary characteristics, such as facial and body hair and greater muscle mass. Estrogen is produced primarily in the ovaries in the female, with small amounts produced in the adrenals in males. Women of reproductive age have significantly higher levels of estrogen than males, which give rise to female secondary characteristics such as breast development and regulation of the menstrual cycle. Now, it is very interesting, because the only thing that makes a man is simply because of the levels of testosterone that he has in his body. And what makes a female is basically the levels of estrogen that she has in her body. Because remember, your body is nothing but, the whole physical side of you is nothing but chemical, reactions. All of it's being released by your glands, the endocrine glands, into the bloodstream, and the cells take its own form and shape, which your body is made up of trillions of cells, and they take that specific shape due to the type of chemicals that are being released by this endocrine system within your own being. It's amazing. It's amazing. For both males and females, however, testosterone plays a fundamental role in the growth and repair of tissue. Raised levels of testosterone are indicative of an anabolic or tissue-building training status. Estrogen has many functions, but in particular has an influence on fat disposition around the hips, buttocks, and thighs. And that is why women naturally have the, just the bigger waist, and the fatter thighs than males do. Okay, cortisol. In contrast to testosterone, cortisol is typically referred to as the catabolic hormone, associated with tissue breakdown. Under times of stress, such as exercise, cortisol is secreted by the adrenal glands and serves to maintain energy supply through the breakdown of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. High levels of cortisol brought about through overtraining, excessive stress, poor sleep, and inadequate nutrition can lead to significant breakdown of muscle tissue, along with other potentially harmful side effects. So you see, it is important not to overtrain, and it is important to get enough sleep, and it is important to get the proper nutrients within your body, because if your body doesn't have all those adequate amounts, it has to release this cortisol in order to keep the levels at a steady pace. Remember, like I was saying in the last video, cortisol, when you're stressed, you're releasing cortisol, and that's what makes you feel stressed. Yeah. Growth hormone. The name of this hormone has particular reference to its primary functions. Growth hormone is released from the pituitary gland in the brain and is regulated by the nearby hypothalamus. So the pituitary gland is what releases the hormones, And remember that the pituitary is the master gland. It is what releases its growth hormone within the bloodstream, but the hypothalamus is what regulates how much is being released and how much are being released through the bloodstream. Growth hormone is stimulated by several factors, including estrogen, testosterone, deep sleep, and vigorous activity. Growth hormone is primarily an anabolic hormone that is responsible for the most of the growth and development during childhood up until puberty. While the primary sex hormones take over that control, growth hormone also increases the development of bone, muscle tissue, and protein synthesis, increases fat burning, and strengthens the immune system. Thyroid hormones. The thyroid gland is located at the base of the neck just below the thyroid cartilage, sometimes called the Adam's apple. This gland releases vital hormones that are primarily responsible for human metabolism. The release of thyroid hormones is regulated by the pituitary gland. Thyroid hormones have been shown to be responsible for carbohydrate, protein, and fat metabolism. Basal metabolic rate, that is basically how much energy your body is burning while at rest. Okay, protein synthesis, sensitivity to epinephrine, heart rate, breathing rate, and body temperature. Now, protein synthesis is basically your body's ability to create and use the specific proteins or the certain proteins that it needs to build its muscle. And also sensitivity to epinephrine. Remember, epinephrine is the adrenal glands. Okay? Your heart rate, breathing rate, and body temperature. Low thyroid function has become a well-recognized disorder, leading to low metabolism, fatigue, depression, sensitivity to cold, and weight gain. The effects of exercise. Research has indicated that testosterone and growth hormone levels increase after their strength training and moderate to vigorous aerobic exercise. A similar pattern also seems to emerge for cortisol. The presence of cortisol in the bloodstream is often taken to be indicative of overtraining. This is perhaps a little simplistic, as cortisol is a necessary part of maintaining energy levels during normal exercise activity and may even facilitate recovery and repair during the post-exercise period. Problems may arise, however, as a result of extremely intense or prolonged bouts of endurance training, which have been found to lower testosterone levels while raising cortisol levels. Under these circumstances, catabolism, or breakdown, is likely to outstrip anabolism, which is the build-up, and give rise of symptoms of overtraining. Okay, so that is the end of the endocrine system. I'm going to go ahead and read you the summary, and that's going to put all into play what we just gone over in one little paragraph. So the summary. The endocrine system is responsible for regulating multiple bodily functions to stabilize the body's internal environment. Hormones produced by the endocrine system affect virtually all forms of human function and determine how the body physically and emotionally responds to stress. The endocrine system consists of host organs, known as glands, chemical messengers, or hormones, and target cells, or receptor cells. Some of the major endocrine organs include the pituitary, hypothalamus, thyroid, and adrenal glands. Several other organs contain discrete areas of endocrine tissue that also produce hormones, including the pancreas and reproductive organs. Exercise programming has a significant impact on hormone secretion. Health and fitness professionals should become familiar with how pertinent hormones respond to exercise, to maximum programming strategies, and avoid overtraining. Now that is the end of our endocrine system. I hope you liked it, and I hope it helped. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. That's what we're all here for, and we're here to help each other. And that being said, if you like this video, share it, and subscribe. I will be seeing you guys and girls on the other side of the galaxy.